Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, we started a trial for this case, and, well, things are not looking too great. We already heard from the defendant concerning his motive for the crime. He's saying, yeah, it's a great deal that the guy's dead anyway, blah, 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 but it's like, well, you're not really, helping things. And now we have this little, student here, who thinks he's like kind of high and mighty and smart and whatnot. I mean, just look at him. Look who he's dressed as anyway. And we heard his testimony. He's saying all the stuff he saw, everything, and all that. He said he saw Walkie kill him. However, if you guys actually pay attention, I believe it was his last statement. If you looked at the evidence closely, you would see that something was wrong. It says the bullet hit the man square in the forehead. Now, hold on a minute. That's always a good idea to check the autopsy report because it says right here, time of the death, blah, 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 cause of death, single bullet to the right temple. The right temple? Now, wait a minute. It says right here, entry point right temple. So that's not square in the forehead. Not at all. So why is he so sure it was right in the forehead? Objection! Phew. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see, Air Justice? Huh? Oh, objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet. Oh, right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? I have already determined your angle of inquiry. What do you mean? Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I do not mean a geometrically absolute. What I do mean by this, for example, the deflection of a meter is a blah, 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 the wavelength of light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that the krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which points to a basic felicity in the line of reasoning, namely that, Mr. Justice, yes, was there objection to these, krypton particle things, which I'm pretty sure aren't real? I mean, come on now, Krypton, I think of Superman, I'm pretty sure, I really hope Krypton's not real. I mean, I was terrible at science and chemistry, guys, so yeah, I mean, I could be completely oblivious to this crap. This is the big time, and you are obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big! I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Temple? Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of funny him playing with his hair there, his devil horns, as someone called it earlier, I believe. It is, right? Finally! Objection! Oh, damn it. Air Justice. Oh, Air Justice. Yes, I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it her, but I'm pretty sure it's air, like air, whatever. I don't know any German, so pardon. Yes. Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony. No! Why does it look like he's about to cry? Hey, her forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Air Forehead? Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fraulein. Me? Well, I'll probably scream, "Eee!" And you, Air Stickler. What did you shout, I wonder? Duh! If the victim turned his head at the last moment. Yep, that would explain it. Ah, yes, thank you for jogging my memory. It sounds like an addition to the testimonies required. Come on, now using big words like that. So, Night in the Park 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two! I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Okay, I see. So you attempted to stop the crime. Indeed. With composure. Don't forget about that, guys. Composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. Okay, the witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature, and the victim responded by looking to the witness's direction. And of course, when he does that, his right temple is exposed. Boom, there you go. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see here, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Witness the power of a junior Ivy University's Department of Science. Okay. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay, let's see. Well, before I continue, I want to look at some pieces of evidence that we haven't really taken a close look at. Knife, noodle stand. Have we looked at this really? I mean, I don't think we need this right now, but we're just going to take a quick look at it. Okay. The Loomers, I'm going to look at that. Oh, we didn't check out his checkup report. His, Walkie-talkie, June 14th. Metallic object found near heart, urgent exam needed. Crap. Okay. Pistol. Weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired. Fingerprints were white. Huh. Okay, so only 2 rounds fired, but the fingerprints were wiped. Okay. Okay. Let's continue on then. Cease this at once. The victim turned. Shot rang out. Blah, blah. Let's see here. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. No, wait a minute. Something doesn't make sense. I'm gonna go ahead and present the pistol here because it just seems weird why he would just toss a thing like, I don't know. Wait a second. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse that you can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second, you say. A second? Are we intending to wait just that? A single second? 1/16th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 35 seconds, that... Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second? Yes! I mean, no! Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. A common ploy made all of the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said a killer tossed the gun and ran! That's right! He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. It's kind of creepy there. He's like, oh! Ah, the little girl's sticking it. The little girl's sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein? Eh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo. Damn. Okay, I didn't think about it either. No, wait. Something came to mind. Well, Mr. Justice, could the killer have been wearing gloves? No, because we have a good piece of evidence that goes along with it. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. It looks like he's like doing like what he's like. I don't know. That doesn't look like. I don't know what the hell he's doing there. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, He threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. Why does it look like he's doing like Shakespeare now? His lip is trembling a little bit. Do you think he's in a play or something? And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Air Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't really matter if you have nothing to say. Very true. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Waki drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as the being 100% sure of what Waki threw away. You're right. He's just confessed because a pistol was found at the scene. Confused. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet be so wrong. Well, it can be that said, I'm quite offended. While it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote... Well, wait a minute, he's going way too fast here. No, I couldn't keep up anymore. What we say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this? Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, then it had to be something else. At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking. Ugh, I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin. Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? Well, it's one of the stuff that we did science on. It's his knife. Remember, it actually has Waki's prints on it. So, that would pretty much mean that he wasn't wearing gloves, which means that he had to leave prints somewhere, right? So, he wouldn't have time to just throw the gun away if those are his prints on it. So, something ain't right. Is that a sword? Yes, Judge. That's a freaking sword. A medieval one. I slice people with. Oh, I saw one of those in the late night movie last night. Great, sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it. His prints? This single piece of evidence proves two important things. I must yawn. One, that what the defendant threw away wasn't a pistol, and two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Indeed. Oh, Air Forehead? You've forgotten two other things you've just proven. Huh? One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Waki Kitaki, and two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim. Oh! Indeed. Never underestimate Gavin his lesson here. True. This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. Yes, no more assuming. I wonder what he's reading. It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming! Yes, that's what I said. Assuming! As if we were a probable situation at all. Yet here we are assuming that my assumption is no better. What this court assumes is that the witness will testify to what happened after a shot was fired. Yeah, I really hate this guy, but... Ugh. Okay, let's hear from Shot the Call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay. Excuse me. Why didn't you chase the killer? He was, as you say, a killer. Of course I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an amplitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not? Does it not, Mr. Justice? I better find a way to take this testimony down quick. But how about we shoot down this testimony next time, guys? So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I'll see you guys later.